So what was your relationship with Supreme?
My relationship with Supreme?
Yeah.
It's friend, what else can you say? Like, he was a dear friend. I met him in 95, I believe.
Okay.
Actually on Cash Money Clicks video.
Okay.
Get the fortune. Fuck the fame, get the fortune.
Okay.
And we shot actually the video in one of his salons that he had in his neighborhood.
Okay.
At the time, we didn't know him. We're from Hollis. He's from Southside. Hollis and Southside is oil and water. We don't mix. So at the time, if I told you I fought my whole adolescent years, someone from Southside, that's what it was. But that's not because I knew them. It's just because it was territorial.
Yeah.
You from Hollis, I mean, they would try and, if they caught you, you was fighting or, so he's the king of Southside.
Yeah.
So when my brother was gonna meet him, I wasn't on the video set. If you look at the video, you'll see me at the very end of that video because I got there very late and caught one scene because rumors was Supreme's gonna be on that set. Me and my brother, that's Irv's my little brother, so when he called me to tell me Supreme's coming, we don't know if it's good or bad. Mind you, we had someone that says, oh, he's a friend and he wants to meet you. So we wasn't thinking bad, but
you never know.
you're prepared for the worst.
Right. It's the streets.
So I ran over there, me and a couple of my friends, we ran over there. He had left, he was in the halfway house at the time. And we didn't get to see each other, but Irv told me everything was fine.
Okay.
And went from there.
And you guys maintained a relationship and built a
Well,
relationship?
again, it wasn't right there. That was just one isolated incident. Then we run into each other at a club here, or run each other at a little get together, acknowledge each other, cool. Just like you would meet anybody and becomes a friend, it was the same way.
Okay.
It was no different. And the guys, again, he never said anything crazy. He never asked for nothing crazy. It was all when the first day he met her, that day, that video, Cash Money Click, Get the Fortune, Fuck the Fame, was the first day Irv met Supreme. Mm-hmm. I didn't meet him yet. What did he ask Irv? Can you shoot a movie? First day. He didn't talk no street shit or this and that. He asked, oh, you shooting a video? I'm trying to do a movie. You think you can shoot a movie? That was the first day.
What did Irv say?
No. He said, I barely know how to shoot a video.
Real talk.
Yeah, kept it 100.
Yeah.
Boom, everything good. But the relationship built. From there, we're in Queens. We're out and about. We're running into each other's here. And we became cool. And we became friends. It's just like anybody else with a relationship.
Now, at one point, the feds get involved.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially they try to tie Murder Inc. to Supreme and said that Murder Inc. was funded by, essentially illegal money coming from Supreme. Is that accurate?
That's accurate as far as what?
As far as what you were charged with.
As far as what they tried to say, but
Right.
They changed all those charges. That's not true. The government threw so many charges together just so they could get an indictment.
Okay.
So when the indictment came down, it was 2 charges.
What were the charges?
Money laundering.
Money laundering.
And conspiracy to money launder. My first response to the government was you can't conspire, you can't money launder with someone that doesn't have money. Supreme didn't have any money. They know that. This is what
Supreme didn't have
had
any
no money. It's
Okay.
not a secret.
But you just said this is the king of Southside.
Yeah. In the 80s.
Okay.
In that heyday, if I knew Supreme was there, see, as I said, it's very important you know the timeline because the timeline is what it's about.
Oh, I see
So
what
in
you're saying.
1995, he already did 12 years, 14 years or something in jail.
Okay.
In the 80s, that's not the same Supreme.
Yeah, he had money back then.
Yeah, I didn't know him then.
Okay.
And that's just the reality. That's what they found out. Like, I didn't have a relationship with this guy when he was the kingpin. I caught the kingpin that came out of jail that had his name and reputation intact, but he didn't have no money.
Okay.
You understand? And there's a big difference. He didn't have the money.
Okay.
It's documented. And, you know, the government, they couldn't believe how many times he was asking me for money in emails,
so
in
Supreme
texts.
was asking you for money.
$100, $500. No one with money does that.
Right.
You know, and they tried to trump it up like he's asking for real money. I'm like, no. And then they found out. It's like, but they know. It's the government.
Okay.
They know everything.
So you guys get indicted
Yeah.
for money laundering and conspiracy.
Conspiracy
to money laundering.
money,
And
yeah.
it was tied to Supreme.
Yeah, well, no.
No?
Again, technically, they tried to tie it to Supreme. I'm just giving you the facts.
Yeah, yeah, that's all I want.
They tried to tie it all together. The reality is everything got separated and severed. So we was not connected to Supreme's case. Mind you, they wanted to bring in all this information about Supreme. Why would you do that if you're a prosecutor? It's more likely you'll get a conviction. But the reality is it had no bearing on us because we wasn't there, so it's not real.
Okay.
Don't lie. You know, we caught them in several bad testimonies which the judge wouldn't allow in for them. They didn't want us to cross-examine any agents or anything like that.
Well,
but that's another, that's something totally
Sure.
different.
at one point the feds came in and raided
They raided the offices.
What was that like? You know, because you guys were doing business.
I don't wish it on nobody. It was the worst. It was one of the worst times, and that took a 3.5 year, maybe almost 4 years, close to 4 years, basically in my life, in my brother's life, my family's life. We're doing over 9 figures. We're a 9-figure business with Murder Inc. And here they come in, and they just stop everything.
Okay, hold on.
And then here they stop everything, and you don't even know.
9 figures is what,
Yeah,
hundreds of
over
millions?
100, yes.
Over $100 million.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know what it is, right? Me and my brother, we don't talk about this. You want me to talk about stuff that I never would talk about because it's no one's business. To get into my financial life, that's what they did, though. They're strategic, and I love America. Don't get me wrong, I love America, but what they did was they took a 9-figure business from me and my brother's and our family.
At the time, because I remember, we were talking before the interview. I remember stopping by Murder Inc. offices, and you guys were in the Universal building.
Yes.
And I mean, you guys were right there. It was like Def Jam, Rockefeller,
You're early.
Murder Inc.,
you're
whatever
early.
else. So the feds go into the Universal building,
Yes.
which is not just Universal also. It's like other businesses.
Microsoft.
Microsoft, exactly. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
trying to think what the other big...
Don't worry,
so,
I know
right,
them.
Right.
They wanted us out bad.
Right. So Microsoft is in there watching the feds storm through these offices, seizing equipment.
But you don't
and
realize
everything
they
else
not
like that.
only did the offices, they did our houses the same exact time. Everybody's house.
Yeah.
In Murder Inc. Everyone. 6 o'clock in the morning.
Your house got raided.
My house, or my brother's house, our accountants, everybody affiliated that they thought was affiliated, house got raided. 6 o'clock in the morning, same day.
Okay. And then...
Damn, I forget the date, and I shouldn't. I think it's December 3rd, but don't quote me.
Okay. And at that point, I remember hearing how Universal, basically wanted you out of the building.
Well, once they came in, they wanted us out. So that day, again, we were very ignorant. I'm going to say that, right? So the ignorance is we never was charged with a crime. They raided your office. This is the government. They had the rights to do this. We didn't understand. They could have these rights to just come in and flip you upside down, charge you with nothing. Didn't charge us with a crime when they raided our office. They just raided your office and said, you're under investigation.
Right.
Like, wow, okay, what's that mean? So we got lawyers, we got all these big firms, law firms, spending, the money we were spending is crazy.
How much did you spend on that case?
On the case,
For lawyers.
we're 8 figures, over 8 figures total. It's over $10 million total.
You spent over $10 million
million.
defending yourself.
Not just us, we defended everyone that got raided. See, we took care of our families.
Okay.
Not, when I say families, people that work for us. We took care of them as well. We paid for their lawyers also.
Well, I just want to point out, because I want people to understand the significance of what's happening right now. Because if NYPD raids you and charges you with a crime, it depends who the district attorney is. The hit rate is all over the board. There's certain district attorneys who have who convict most people. Some don't. You watch right now the OJ Simpson thing is on, and that like the district attorney of LA dropped the ball and OJ won. But when it comes to the feds, they have a 95% conviction rate?
I think it's a little bit stronger than that.
98% conviction rate?
I think so.
Right. So you're talking about
2%?
2% of the time. By the time the feds come in, you know, they are almost always going to win.
Why is that? Yeah, you got to ask yourself why.
You tell me.
They're very strategic. They're very strong. They're unlimited resources.
Yeah.
They investigated us for almost 4 years before charging us with one charge. So here we are for almost 4 years walking on pins and needles while they're following you around. They're coming to your home.
Did you know that? Did you know you were being
Absolutely.
investigated? Oh, so you knew you were being followed?
Absolutely. I see them every day.
Really?
Yeah.
So you come outside?
I would speak to them.
Oh, you would go up to the feds and be like, how you doing?
They would see me at the clubs. They would see me at the clubs. We'll watch who I'm coming in with, leaving with, everything. But that's their job, and I get it. I understand it. That was their job. But at the end of the day, the ignorance was I never thought that you had to protect yourself without being charged for a crime.
Okay.
And we did. So imagine we're paying these huge law firms every fucking month, big checks to answer the government, which is really all they're doing is sucking your money. It's strategic. They're making sure you don't have these resources. They went to the universal system and said, you have to cooperate with us or we're going to come after you guys.
Oh, so they threatened to basically go after Universal, the parent
company. Absolutely. And herein lies one of the biggest problems with murdering. So they went after Universal. If you don't stop feeding those guys, or we're going to come after you. Universal probably broke every contract we had.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because the government was on their ass, you know? And what do you want us to do?
Yeah.
This is what they're telling us.
Yeah.
Ignorance. We're still ignorant, not realizing all of these things the way we might, that I would look at it today versus then. Hindsight's 20/20.
Okay. So were you guys offered a plea deal at this point? Like go do?
He was offered a few different plea deals.
What were the deals?
You wouldn't believe it if I told you. The first deal was a year apiece.
Which isn't bad.
We're facing 20. Everybody that I know said, run, take it.
Yeah. Because a year ain't shit.
And then they said, you go 1 year and then your brother goes another. So
you could keep running the company.
The business stays. That's what they said. This is how they get convictions because most people cop out.
If it's only a year.
No, most people would just take it, even if it wasn't. If it was 5 years, 20, come on. Like, what are you thinking about? Like, they're breaking, first of all, they broke federal guidelines to give us a cop-out deal at that number. Okay. My lawyer, Gerald Shagel, he said in his history, never seen anything like this in the federal system. There's a book called Disrobed.
Okay.
The federal judge, he wrote it. He handled Supreme's case. He says it was the worst case he ever dealt with, Supreme's case, because it was so unjust to Supreme, the federal judge.
What did Supreme end up getting convicted for?
Conspiracies and drugs and I think something with a murder.
Okay. He got life?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's still in prison right now?
Oh, yeah.
So you guys got offered a year versus blowing
trial. That was their first offer.
Oh, their first offer was a year.
First, because so when you look back, like I said, I just have to believe they understood that the case wasn't there. Why would you offer that unless but at the end of the day, ignorance was sitting there. We was very ignorant, me and my brother, and we're sitting there like,
we didn't do it.
I didn't do anything. I'm not taking no time for something I didn't do. But really what they wanted was a story. And they wanted a story on Supreme. That's it. If we would have gave a story, we did anything. They went down to as low as no jail time, just a conviction.
A conviction with no jail time? I've never even heard of this.
Yeah, they was going to give us probation.
Oh, probation. Okay, yeah, I've heard of this.
And there was probation. But we had to tell on Supreme and we like, what are we telling? And they swore that we have some stories to tell. And I'm like, there's no stories to tell. And when that last offer came in, I told Shagel, just tell him let's go to trial and let's see where it goes. Shagel, my lawyer, was like, Chris, you understand this? Before we do that, he said, I can't guarantee you're going to be found innocent. I said, he's like, I understand. But he's like, he said, this deal's like unheard of.
I'm a fan of Drake. I'm a fan of the idea of Drake. So no disrespect against Drake.
What do you mean by the idea of Drake? What does that mean?
Meaning that if he has a ghostwriter, he's an idea. He's not, meaning that it's a perception created that he's not really writing the lyrics. And it's just like here, let's make this in the factory and put it out.
I'm just on top of my game right now, Vlad, and I'm just getting blessed. I'm booked 4 or 5 times a week, 60, 75K a show, man. I'm winning right now, man, and I'm just steady trying to increase my hustle.